Please remember to check out our other videos and click on the subscribe button and click on the bell icon so you get notifications each time we upload another video. This video is brought to you in association with Just EVs, where this car and many other new and used EVs are available for sale and test drives.
Hi folks, and welcome to another episode, and welcome to the fantastic Volkswagen ID.3. This is the first edition model. It's covered about a mile, so it's absolutely brand new. Just let me give you a little walk around it so you can see what it's looking like. I can tell you now that it actually looks better in the flesh than it does on any video or any pictures I've seen. I'm actually quite impressed with it. My least favourite area is actually the front end. You might be able to hear the aircon whirling away there. I've left that turned on because it's roasting today. So there's the front. And like I say, it does look better in the flesh. I apologise about the noise. I've parked it between two trees because the sun sort of distorts the camera. But yeah, nice paintwork, really nice finish. Panel gaps are all really good. Everything just as you would expect. That looks very Volkswagen eGolf-esque to me. That's the only bit of it that I think looks like the eGolf. In fact, nothing else really carries over. Only the build quality. When you shut the doors, it's really nice sound. In fact, let me do that for you now so you can hear it. It's just a Volkswagen noise, just what you'd expect. Now, let me give you a few facts on the car. This model has a 58 kilowatt hour usable pack, and real range is probably going to be about 215. However, they do specify you can get up to 320. I've seen that written down on a few different forums, but I'll be honest, 320 is a bit of a push for just under 60 kilowatt hour pack. But nevertheless, I'm sure somebody out there could get it. The price, this was 39 grand, and I think paid for was around about 36-ish, somewhere around that, after the plug-in car grant. But it is well spec'd. Obviously it's the first edition. You can see it's got privacy glass at the back there. It's got these nice diamond cut alloys, which look to be, I'm going to say they look about 18 19s to me. Let's have a look. 19s, yeah, 215 50 19s. Now here's a few things that you might not know. It's rear wheel drive, so all the power comes through the back, which is great because it frees up for a really good turning circle, and the turning circle is excellent. It's probably not quite as good as the Honda E that we tested, but it's still very good and makes it more than capable for tight parking and getting it into them little spaces that you might ordinarily struggle with a car without such a good turning circle. Here, although they're not on, DRL halos, LED lights, LED indicators. It's LED'd up everywhere. LEDs on the mirrors just here. Silver mirror caps, and then that's followed up on the A pillar and follows down to the C pillar here. Solid black roof, no pano roof on this. Let's go into the boot. Oh, there we go. Boot open. This is a nice sound. I do like that. So in here is your Type 2 charger, Type 2 charging cable, and then under the boot floor is just solid. So you've got a tiny bit of space down there which you probably could squeeze one of them cables into, but there's no granny lead for some reason. I don't know why. There just doesn't seem to be one. Performance, will give you 0 to 62 in 9 seconds, and it's got a limited top speed of 99 miles an hour. So let's come into the charging port. So you've got CCS, so you've got your Type 2 there. That will give you 11 kilowatt on board, and then you can get up to 100 kilowatts on a DC rapid. So charge time, you're probably going to be able to get 20 minutes and enough range in there for your longer journeys. So all in all, quite impressed. But that's what it looks like. I'm warming to it. I think it's a bit of a slow burner, but so far it's okay. I'm a real lover of the eGolf, a real lover. I think it's one of the best EVs ever made. It's so good, and this has got some big shoes to fill, to be fair. It has got a bigger pack and it's got a lot of extra bits on it, but I'm not too sure that it's going to swing it for me for the price tag. So anyway, let's get inside. Okay, into the back. Now, you may all know that I've got a neck like a giraffe, and if I bring you round, see how I'll turn those on. Ah, very nice. I do like those. So you should be able to see that me in my upright position, I've got headroom there. I'm going to say if I push up I can hit the roof, but ordinarily most people would be okay. The rear bench seat is quite high. There's a definite height difference here from the front seats, and that's probably due to the fact that it's got rear wheel drive and you've got the battery in there. You've got this pull down armrest, and you've also got a ski hatch just there, which you need the armrest up to open. But actually comfort, very nice. From the rear passenger seat, you've got these little mat pockets. You've got 2 USBs down there, and you've got the same on the passenger seats. Nice door bins as well, plenty of space. Let's go around to the front passenger side. Oh. Just see on there we've got the first edition badge, which is obviously because it's a first edition car. And again, here now there is loads of leg room. I've got a height adjustable seat as well. If I bring that all the way up, still plenty of headroom, and then all the way back down. So that's in the fully lowered position. Wow. So that goes back quite far, so that gives you plenty of leg room in the front. Apparently Volkswagen advertise this as having as much room inside as a Volkswagen Passat, so all very good. Also there's some ambient lighting that runs along here and in here. Electric windows again. Glove box, well, it's obviously come from a left-hand drive because we've got that area there again, which is for the fuse board I expect, so that's a very French thing. Little pockets down there, 2 good cup holders, wireless charging in here, and then a really nice touch, got king seats in the front, which I do like. I do like an armrest in the centre. And back down, most people have seen these, but if you look at the pedals, you've got the pause and the play button, and just the finish, the whole finish in here does feel good. So everything is automatic and touch screen, so all these little features here are touch screen. Even the key itself, which if I get that out of my pocket, it's not touch, but it's made to look like touch. I'll just show that to you now. So if I just press that, that locks it. It is actually a physical press, but it does look like it's going to be a touch button. So, oh, just saw that there. If I lock it, very nice across the front screen there, and if I unlock it, well, I do quite like that. Now let me bring you around to the driver's seat, which is, this is something that I really like about the ID.3. I love tech, I love what Tesla are doing, and manufacturers are moving more and more towards that, and that whole minimalistic design in there is edging more and more that way. But keyless entry, I like that, and it's quick, there's no delay. So if I just demonstrate, I put my hand around it, it's open straight away. There's absolutely lightning speed, which is what it needs to be. So there's a bit of your LED lighting down there. Okay, when you get in, let me turn the volume down and turn the aircon down. Climber, try and work out fan speed. Okay, that's that. So one thing I have noticed is you don't need to turn it on or off, it just does it all for you. So here's your gear selector up here into D, and then if you flick it again it goes into B, pull it back it goes into neutral, pull it back again it goes into reverse, and there's your reversing camera. So this was a full screen a minute ago. I haven't quite worked out what's going on with it, but that's sort of edged in, but it's pretty good. It's digital, it does flicker a little bit. Again, if we look down there, you can see the little control panel for all the lights. So on auto, or you can put them on manual, and then you can alter with them. But they're all touch, really nice. So put them on auto, there we go. On the steering wheel, so if I turn the volume up, this is touch, but you get a vibration. I don't know if you can hear that. Quick demo on the wipers, which is quite important for me. They're nice and quiet, and they clear the screen well, as you'd expect from any Volkswagen. Now the first thing I like to do is some kind of acceleration test, but you don't really need to, because the way it's mapped is that as soon as you touch the throttle, and because it's rear wheel drive, it just knuckles down and pins you back in the seats. I'm not actually very familiar with the area that I'm in, so these are quite cheeky country lanes, very windy, but the ID.3 seems to be soaking it up really well. Getting into this after driving a Tesla Model 3 Performance makes you aware of just how nice the suspension's set up. It's a really, really good feel. If I was coming down here in the Tesla now, I would be jigging around a lot. Now I know that's the way the Tesla's set up, but this feels nice and firm, but not too firm. Like, they've done a really, really good job here. Now they've had to factor in the fact that it's got a electric powertrain in it, so the floor's higher and obviously the rear bench is higher, but the fact that they've mitigated that with a higher roof line, so there's plenty of room all round. And when Volkswagen say, yeah, it's the size of a Passat inside, you know what, I think they're right. There's plenty of leg room, and just looking around, it looks spacious. Now the seats, from a picture, these look a little bit spongy and I'll say not very good quality, but you'd be wrong. They do look it, but actually when you get close up, this is a nice suede finish. The middle, I'm not sure what that is. It's some kind of artificial fabric, but it's hard wearing and it's obviously designed to a purpose. Now the interior build, I've seen a lot of people say, it's a bit cheap, it's a bit nasty, but you'd be wrong. It's not cheap and it's not nasty. Yeah, you've got some hard plastics here on the top of the door cards, but if you go lower down, you've got some nice, what I think feels like leather, and then you're down into the door bins. If you go onto the dash, yeah, at the back you've got hard plastic, the bit that's going to get all the sun, so it needs to be quite rigid. And then if you come forward, you've got a nice piece of leather which separates that, and then come down again and it goes back to hard plastic. But it doesn't look out of place. It doesn't look like hard plastic. It's not shiny, they've sort of dulled it down. This is lovely to drive. I mean, I expected it to be lovely to drive, but it is lovely to drive. I don't know, when I saw it I thought they'd probably messed it up a little bit, but no, they haven't. They've done a really good job. I have got a few concerns. The fact that it's rear wheel drive, and in the winter, especially out where I am now, the temperatures do really drop, and I feel that you might come unstuck in the same way that most BMWs do when you get a little bit of snow or ice on the floor. So the ID.4, the four-wheel drive, will probably be the one for you if you are worried about sorry, these lanes are terrible. The ID.4 probably will be the one for you if you're worried about the temperatures and the colder areas of the country. Now, I did try to connect the Android Auto and Apple Carplay, but apparently it's not working yet. There will be a software update for that later in the year, free of charge from Volkswagen, and that will bring that to life. It does have a fully working app, so you can do pretty much everything that you'd expect to be able to do: preheat, check the state of charge, start charge, stop charge, check where the car is. So that's reassuring to know. It's nice to have this on a car that's got this much tech in it and it's moving with the times. You really want it to have that sort of accessibility. And let's be honest, it's one of them things that you can show off with. I certainly do. Oh, look at my car, look where it is. I've just had a little bit of a play with the screen, and I found that there's 3 driving modes, as with the Volkswagen eGolf. So you've got Eco, you've got Comfort, and you've got Sports. So obviously I've dropped it into Sports, and it feels easily powerful enough. I mean, you're not going to break any records with it, but actually it's good enough to do what you need it to do. So I think it's 9 seconds or something to 60. So you've easily got enough power on hand. I do keep feeling the lane keep assist kicking in as I'm driving around these lanes, and I've never been a fan of it myself, but it's okay. I always consider lane keep assist to be mediocre unless it's lane follow assist, which is king. When it comes to interior noise and comfort, it's well isolated, or insulated if you like. The motor whine is barely noticeable. Whether you're hard on the throttle or you're full on the Regen, you can hardly make it out. Probably helping by the fact it's tucked down there behind the back seat somewhere. But I've driven some electric cars and they are quite noisy on the motor. Not that that's a problem and it puts me off, but it's just a nice a nice addition to the car, that it's quite quiet and that's not there sort of whining in the background. Foot down, 20, 30, 40, 50, oh, going over brow of a hill, chickened out. I don't think I'm going to get bored of that acceleration. Okay, let's talk about price. So this was just a tad under 40 grand, first edition, and I think with the plug-in car grant it was about 36-ish, somewhere around that price, which actually in the grand scheme of things isn't too bad. I would be prepared to pay, I would pay 35, 36 for one of these, just because after just this short time driving it, I can feel that it's well made. Obviously it's got the back in the Volkswagen Audi group, but also it's got a massive battery in it. I mean, it's got nearly 60 kilowatt hours usable. And when I'm sitting here looking at 200 miles range, I genuinely think it will exceed that. I do. I think that these will be topping 230, 240, and that's with real world driving. Now, I'm not embarrassed to say that I have a bit of a love affair with the eGolf. I think it's one of the best EVs ever made, simply because it's got everything that you expect from a Golf, but it's also electric and it performs really well. And when I came to the ID.3, I just thought, yeah, I'm just not sure it's going to be what I want it to be, and I kind of wanted to not like it as much as the Golf, but after 14 miles, I do like it. I prefer the way it drives, I prefer the way it feels on the road. It's quieter, it's just an all-round better car, and it really needed to be. It needed to progress, and it has progressed. Not a fanboy, but it's good. It is good. Just driving up a road and there's donkeys everywhere. There's a donkey just there, look, and horses. They probably can't hear me coming. Which brings me on to another note. The noise, the pedestrian warning noise on this is that of a spaceship. I can't sort of replicate it for you in my mouth, but it's very, very interesting. Okay, so there needs to be a negative, and I'll be honest, I'm struggling to find one. It's just, there doesn't seem to be anything. I'm sure that if I was in this for weeks on end, then I would find a negative, but as it stands at the moment, I can't. I just want to touch on Regen. Now, the Regen, in my opinion, is probably a little bit weaker than it could be. I'm much more a fan of what the BMW i3 offers, where it comes to a complete halt and it's a real one-pedal driving experience, where with the ID.3 you don't get that. You do need to use the friction brakes, or at least use the brake pedals, to increase the amount of regen you get. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's good. You've got a D or B, which is activated on the gear selector just here on the right of the instrument binnacle, but I'm swinging the other way. Other people are the other way, it's personal preference, but for me, I prefer the, like I say, the BMW setup. I am 36 miles in. I've still got 196 miles of range. I'm not even really sure how that's happened, because I started with 200, but I've been driving it as I do drive, and I drive, as you know, with quite a heavy right foot, and I've been driving it through some of the twisters and giving it the full beans. So don't think that I've gone lightly on the car. I haven't done that at all. And for it to return that, it's gone up to 197 just now, where I'm just driving down a little bit of a hill. I am really, really quite amazed by this. It's really impressive. Good turning circle there as well, just really sharp left-hand bend, and it just chews it up. This is a very, very versatile car. If I could change the front end, alter the Regen, and maybe change a few of the switches inside, it would be perfect, but none of them would stop me owning one of these. Absolutely. The price is, yeah, it's a little bit on the steep side, but it's a Volkswagen. You're going to get that back with the residuals. These do not depreciate like other models do, and we know that. That's how the market's been for years. And I'm impressed. I really am impressed. It's been a great drive. I would suggest that anybody looking to buy something similar to this in terms of size, looking at a diesel, a petrol or electric, you should give this a time of day, because it is a very well put together and nice piece of equipment. I'm so impressed by it. You expect to be, don't you? You expect to be. Just to finalise, I left here with 200 miles of range. I've done 36 miles and I've got 198 showing on the gasometer. But what does that translate to in state of charge? 82%. That's quite amazing. Anyway, folks, I'm going to leave it there. It has been quite a short, sprightly drive. Please remember to like and subscribe, and please check us out on Twitter, where we will update you with all our latest EV antics. There's lots of them, and we'll see you next week in another episode. So bye for now.